Hi everyone, my name is Jimmy, and the reason that I create this video is to conduct a small presentation about my result system for the version 1, which is the Human Resource Payroll Management System. So about this system, recently the institutional human resource are its most valuable asset in the business world. So the main reason that I create this system is to do a centralized human resource payroll management system in order to improve the efficiency of the payroll system. And so this system is the integrated platform that will perform as the single point of truth for all the payroll data, optimizing the workflows and also reducing the multiple instance of different database and improvements in the data security while supplying the management with the useful insights. So the objective of the system is to create a central database with offering the full CRUD operations such as the create, read, update, delete, and search. Besides, I also aiming for the objective, which is to provide the facility for detailed payroll processing, providing for the automatic calculation of gross pay, tax deduction, social security contribution, and also other allowance. And finally, the one of the objectives is also to develop the report generation module for use in all data analysis. So for this, in this system, I include the four modules, which are the employee information system, leave and attendance management, payroll computation module, and also reports and analytic dashboard. So this is the structure chart for this system, to briefly explain about the role of the flow of the system. So this system has included three type of management, which is the employee information management, leave and attendance management, and also payroll processing. Each of the management have their own function to run and also to manage the data inside the database. And finally, it will also result in producing the reporting module in order to export the basic reports for employee to see. And this is the first flowchart for my system regarding about the system startup and also database configuration flowchart. So in this flowchart, it will explain how the user will log in into the system. So first of all, you initialize the logger and also load the configuration files. And if the config is found, then it will establish a database connection pool. If not, it will also go to the manual database setup first. And then if the connection is successful, then you directly proceed to the login screen. If not, it will also show the critical error pop-up to show the user that it is unable to log into the system. And then for the second flowchart is about the user authentication and also login flowchart. This one is also mainly for about the login and also the user authentication to maintain the emphasize security by enforcing a strict three attempt limit and automated the event login. Which means that the user firstly will insert the username and password and then you verify the credential. If the credentials is valid, then you go to a login and then you directly go to role-based dashboard. If not, you will check if the attempt is less than three. If yes, you will you will show the invalid credentials and ask the user to prompt in the value again. If not, they will show the login is failed and also directly end the system. For next, third flow chart is the payroll calculation and statutory login flow chart. It is the backbone of the system that will calculate the payroll by complying with the Malaysian Statutory Requirements. The system will ask the user to input the employee ID, pay period ID, and also allowance and bonus. Then it will verify the ID and the ID for the employee and allowance to check if the ID is valid. And then it will calculate the gross pay, and then it will ask if the citizen is local or foreign. Each of the option will conduct the different calculation part, and then we go to if the religion is Islam, they will calculate for the zakat. If not, then the zakat will be zero. And then finally you calculate the net pay, then we'll generate the official pay slip for the employee to see. For the fourth one is a general CRUD and audit trail flowchart. This flowchart will prioritize the data integrity and administrative accountability. Your system will ask the user to input the new or updated data and sanitize the input. If the data is valid, it will execute SQL update where the connection pool. If not, it will display the input error and go back to the loop for the system to run again. Then finally, the fifth flowchart is about the new user account creation flowchart. It functions as the platform for the user to identify the user account or create the user account. Firstly, it will ask the user to input the username, role, and password. If password is strong enough, then it will generate the sort and hash the password for the security issues. And then it will store record in the user account table and audit log. If the password is not strong enough, you display the security error, which means that the password is not strong, and you will look back again to ask the user input again. So this part is a specialized security process you design to protect the system access control layer. And finally, is about the ERD diagram. This ERD diagram implements four type of aspect, which is the employee as a central entity, because you can see that the employee table in the middle of the ERD diagram. It has a many relationship with many type of data. And then secondly is about the payroll subsystem, which is the pay slip, pay item, and also payroll period. This one about the payroll calculation part, it will store the data into the payslip about the detail of the pay item and also for the payroll period. The third one is about the operation subsystem, which is attendance and leave request. The system will store the attendance values for the employee for the manager to see about the employee attendance if the attendance is healthy or not. And then about leave request, the employee can also apply for the leave and the manager can approve or reject the leave. And finally, is the compliance part, which is work permit. Because there are some not local employees, because they are from the other country, that you come to Malaysia to work, it has their own work permit, they have their expiry date, so the manager can see if the expiry date is almost there. If yes, you will continue to go to update the work permit. If not, they will continue do the further actions. So now let's proceed to the system demo to look for the how the system will run.
So now let us go to our next part of the presentation, which is the system demo. So now I will demo my human resource payroll management system for you all to see how my system will work. So now I run. So this is the first interface, which is the system initialization to check if for the system configuration. And if it's successful, it go to the next part, which is the connection to the HRPMS database. And then you will go to the system login for user to log into their own accounts. So first of all, I try to type my username, and then for password, now let us try that if the password is wrong one, what will happen? You show that the invalid credentials and the attempts remaining with -1. So it means that on each user had only 3 attempts one time for them to log into the system. So now I try to insert the correct one. It will show login successful and go to the main menu according to my role. As now my role is the human resource, which is HR, so I can see the HR main menu. So in this main menu, I have 6 type of function, which is the user account management, view leave request, payroll management, employee and department management, view update logs, and also logout. So I can use the arrow key to move the bar to select my option, or either I can type the number key directly. For example, now I go to the fourth one, but I want to try the user account management. So I click 1, you go to the user management dashboard. And then in this dashboard, I implement some of the CRUD function, which are the viewing the user account, create new user account, update the user account, delete the user account, and also I can go back to main menu for the HR main menu board. So now I try to view all user account and click enter. It will show that this is the user account directory. So as you can see in this part, I have the instruction for user to see. You click N, you go to the next page. I click P, you go to previous page, and then I can click Q to exit from this directory. So it will show display that the user account will display successfully. Then now if I want to create a new user account, I click Tool. For this, I can insert the user ID first, but now I will try, if I enter some user ID that already exists, it will show that the ID already exists, and then I click enter again, the user can input the user ID again. But what if I leave the input field blank, I click enter, it will show that the ID cannot be empty. And then what if the format wrong, like this, instead of clicking the 0, I click a O, then you show that the ID must be U followed by 3 digits. So this type of error, I already implement in every type of the ID input for input validation and also error handling. So now I directly create 1019. For username, I can create my own username like Amir. For password, I try some password with short one. You show that the password is too big and you need to require at least 8 characters with case mix, numbers, and special. So now I try to input one. And then for the row one, I implement some one function which is using the tag or space to toggle, which means I can choose one either from HR, manager, or employee. So for this case, I try to input employee and then I enter select. It pop up the row will be employee and employee ID because I need to link the user account with the employee, so I can choose either one employee to select. So maybe I choose 10. Then it will display the user account created successfully. And then for the update user account, I can choose user ID to update. It's just now I choose the field 019. So I can update this type of field for this certain user. So it will display user account role, the username, account role, and password hash. Because password is hash, so you will not display directly the password, but you can modify like this, like 33, and then enter the new password. And then you but because the password is not strong enough, they will show that password failed strength check. So it will not be updated. But for role, I can choose two, and then I choose tab. Maybe I can choose manager, then you directly change to manager. And when I want to save, I click 0, you save directly. And how, if I want to delete user ID, because just now I choose the user ID for U019, so what if I choose the U019 to delete? We are able to delete the account for this user because there are linked employee record that exist in the system, so I cannot delete the user account directly. In order to delete this account, I need to delete employee first. So I continue go back first, and then I go to back menu. And I can do another function such as view leave request. Okay, show this, and then display, and you will finish displaying the view leave request. And what about the payroll management? Okay, for payroll management, this payroll submenu and different type of menu also. As such as record payroll period, process payroll, record employee attendance, view attendance directory, generate pay slip, also go back to the main menu. So for record payroll period, I think main type payroll, I create one for the newest one, like 3. For start date, I need to follow the format. If I leave blank, I cannot be empty. If there's wrong format also, you show that it's an invalid start date. So for this one start date, I try to input one day first, start from 1 of the March, 1st of March, and then end on 31. Pay date will be the next month. Then you show the payroll period created successfully. Alright then. Now I want to go to the process payroll. For pay period ID, I try to use the latest one that I created now. For employee ID, I choose E001. Allowance maybe 250, 150 for bonus. And processing calculation, and we show that this is the payroll first result summary, which is the gross pay, and all the deductions such as EPF, SOCSO, EIS, LHDN, and Zakat. And finally, you will display the total deductions and also net pay for the employee ID. Okay? And then for the next page, for analytics, this is one of the interactive dashboard that are implemented. It's just such that I included financial health rating, and then the gross pay, net pay, EPF, also EIS, HDA, and also Zakat the percentage, and also the bar chart for the user to see how much they will be deducted from the gross pay and how much they I get from net pay. And then you show that operation is complete, and I can go back to the sub menu. And for attendance, I can choose either one employee, and then for the date, I can attendance maybe from 2026, 03, 01. In time, I need to follow the format also. If not, it will show that there is time error. So maybe I choose 09, 00, 00. Out time, maybe I choose 18, 00, 00. Then you show the attendance record will be successfully recorded into the database. And what about the viewing attendance directory entries enter? We show like this: the employee ID, the attendant ID, employee name, date, in time, and out time. So I can see that any click on next page, you can see that here I can see many type of attendance directory in this function option. And then I go back. For general payslip, I can generate one payslip for certain employee as example just now. I choose employee ID and pay period for just now. And then you generate official payslip for the employee. So in this like this, it will show that the employee name, ID, bank account, pay period, and pay date. And deduction breakdown will show the EPF, SOCSO, ES, Zakat, and also income tax, which is the LHDN. I press enter. No, I choose the right arrow. You show that the basic monthly salary and total deduction and net pay the employee will get and how much for this net pay. You do some analysis to show the financial rating for the user to see according to the net pay, how healthy is financial according to the net pay that he got. And the year to date gross, maybe it's assuming that according to the net pay, what the employee will get for total in a year according to the payroll. And then if I want to exit, can choose escape to exit from the pay slip. And now I will go back to the main menu, go to the next function, which is employee department management. Also the same almost for the management for employee and department, but employee I include all the CRUD, which is the create employee, view all employees, update employee, delete employee, and also search employee. So this create employee. Now for creating employee, I can create a new employee in this HR dashboard to use the function in the system. For example, for employee ID, I choose the E021. For full name, maybe I can choose Muthu. And then for citizenship, I can toggle between the local or foreign using space or tab. So maybe now I choose for local first and then enter. I can choose, then I will input the IC number for the employee. This IC number follows the format of the IC format in the Malaysia. So I key in first according to the Malaysia standard for the IC and enter. Maybe I put 3,500 first. Then I count at least 10 digit. Then for department ID, I can choose either one. And then manager ID, I click enter for no manager for assigned to this employee. And then for the religion, I can choose from the Islam, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, or other. Now I choose Hindu first. Then you show that auto user generation is implemented to make sure that each employee has their own user account to use this system. So for this employee, it has username assigned which is mutu.emp and default password for it to use the system for initial run. Then at the enter, they will show the employee is a safe account will be generated. And actually complete, I go back to the employee management. For you, all employee, I can enter this part and then it will show the all the ID, name, citizenship, religion, salary, and also department. Okay, so enter for next page, you display all the record and the total, and then I can return to the menu like this. For update employee, so just now in E021, so you display all the data in the employee, and if I want to choose the update option, maybe for 2, okay, update for maybe 4,000, then you updated for the basic salary, and want to save, I click 0, and you will save successfully. And for the delete employee, if I want to delete employee, I can choose delete E021. You show that the employee will be deleted from the database. And finally, for search one, maybe I want to search E001. You display all the record for the E001 that's stored in the database from full name until the bank account. And then this is the employee management CRUD for my system. And now I go back to HR tools. I go to the department. For department, I can view first. View all the department in this directory. And then I enter to finish. Then I go to create department. Maybe creating the department, maybe D020. And then maybe department I choose maybe like the mechanics. You show that the data department D020 will be created successfully. And then go back to Shuttle, main menu. And then for the last function is the view audit logs. You show all the audit logs that you are using for this system so that HR can see which employee has been used this system and what type of event or that will be done for the employee. Display all like this, maybe login, delete, update, right? And the details. And then okay, you can see the total entries and press any key to return to the system. And now can log out from the HR role. Now for next user, now I choose for just now I choose for HR, right? Now I choose for manager one. Maybe choose one manager to log in, and we show this type of manager menu. For manager menu, manager can only do some type of function, which is the approve or reject leave request, view leave request, and generate payslip. General payslip is same as for the HR, so will not show too detail on the general payslip. But for approve, I can show that I can enter for this leave approval for manager. I can also use the toggle bar to navigate in between the records, and also I can select enter to change. Maybe for this pending, I can enter. I can use tab or space to toggle for this approve or reject and here. Maybe I want to reject and press enter, it will be rejected. If you want to save, and can escape to save successfully. For this view leave request, it also same as the display menu for the leave request for approval just now. It also show like this, the leave ID, name, start date, end date, status, and approval. So I can enter to go back. For general payslip, almost the same. It's usual. I mean, it's 002. Pay period, maybe I choose 202602. And generate official payslip for the employee. Just same as the HR one. And then escape. Enter. Now, so this is the function for the manager. And then I will log out. For next user, I can choose for the employee. Now for employee, almost the same, but because employee only has specific function on leave, such as the apply for leave, view attendance, update the profile, search chef profile, and generate my payslip. So for first one, apply for leave. Okay, you want to apply for leave, maybe it's starting from 0026, a month of 3, and maybe start from 05. End date will be on the same day, maybe. The same day here. You will show that the application is submitted successfully for the manager to approve or reject. So for next one, view attendance, you can show its own attendance. Maybe before this, I only insert one record, so it only display the record for this employee only. And then enter. For update profile, you only can update itself profile, which is it will display employee almost the same from the HR, but the difference is HR can select the employee ID to update, but for this employee dashboard, only the certain employee for this user account has the access to its own data to be updated. So it will display directly the data for this employee E004, and then it can modify with the same methods in the HR dashboard. But only the specific difference is this employee dashboard only can update for its own record. So directly go out first. So I can now search sharp profile, almost the same. You can see its own data only to display. Maybe when the employee is the employee didn't remember some of its data, it can directly use this system to see for its own record, and then it display its own record for it to see the data that is stored in the database. And finally, you will generate my payslip. I directly enter this. For pay period, maybe for this employee, I choose the PP 2026-02. There is no payroll record found for this employee in this pay period, so there will be no payslip generated. Maybe I can choose the one that exists for this employee, maybe 2025-11. You generate the official payslip for this certain pay period for this only employee, which is the E004. It will display and then go to the next page to see all the data are almost the same in the HR dashboard, and then these are the display interface for the user to see the payslip. If you want to save, you can press S, text file will be saved for the user to see. So I go out, and then I can log out now. So these are all the functions that I have implemented in my system, this human resource payroll management system. So I hope that you can understand my system function and logics. And so this is my presentation for this human resource payroll management system as a project of my workshop 1. So thank you and have a nice day.